Welcome to the Dreamlands. We are returning to space once again for some Homeworld Remastered multiplayer. Going to be a 3v3 this time. The map is SzaRRy Badlands, and a pretty damn stacked lineup we've got this time. So, kicking things off, we've got yellow teams spawning on the north side of the map. First up, we are going to have Xenofix making their return to the channel. They're going to be spawning in as the Kushan, taking up the right side position. Middle position, making their debut on the channel and spawning in as Vagr, it is going to be Tyguy. From what I understand, Tyguy is a pretty high-level player, so I'm pretty excited to be welcoming him to the channel. Taking up the middle spot forward, making their return once again, it is going to be Ghostrider, another very skilled player who has appeared, I believe, in one video on the channel in the past. So it is going to be double Vagr and Kushan for yellow team. Other side of the map, spawning in as the Higarans for red team, taking up the front position. It is going to be SzaRRy making their debut on the channel. From what I understand, this player is pretty skilled. I have never had the chance to have him on the channel, however, so welcome to SzaRRy. Taking up the left spawn, once again, it is going to be Fear. And if you don't know this player by now, I don't know what to say. One of the best players in the game, and probably been in like 90% of my casts. Very, very prolific player. Taking up the left position, returning to the channel once again, it is going to be RoBeY, a very prolific player and a highly skilled player in his own right. RoBeY's been in a number of videos and is like a staple of the online multiplayer community. So it's going to be double Higaran and Tydan versus double Vagr and Kushan. Pretty interesting setup. Let's see what we've got going on the map for RoBeY. He has saturated his main, sending his carrier out, presumably to the closest resource pocket, saturating that as well. Pretty standard opener. For Fear, we do have a research ship on the field. His main is saturated, and his carrier out on the first resource location closest to his main, saturating that as well. So pretty standard openers for both of them. And it looks like SzaRRy has exactly the same thing going on. Everybody, by the looks of it, is on two resource locations. Ghostrider, Tyguy, as well as Xenofix. So it would actually be pretty unusual for that not to be the case. This is very, very standard opening. You start with your mothership as well as a carrier, so there's really no reason not to just saturate two resource locations and have that two-base economy going. We do have some scouting coming out from both sides. Probes as well as scouts are on the field. As far as tech goes, let's see what we've got, if we can see anything here. I don't see anything on the Vagr flagships. I expect a pretty damn good macro game out of these gents. Research ship is up for Xenofix, of course. We do have a number of interceptors on the field for Fear. And we can see the teams just chatting and trying to coordinate their opening moves. Not a lot for units on the field just yet. Some of these spawns are pretty damn close, though. I like how the middle spawn is kind of raised up. That's pretty interesting. Looks like we've got a bunch of dust clouds on this map as well, so pretty good for some flanking maneuvers. Xenofix trying to clean up a couple of probes to keep that scouting information for red team to a minimum. This seems like a very, very vulnerable position for Ghostrider. He has to expand way out here close to the enemy team. Finally, some units starting to stream out onto the map. We have interceptors for SzaRRy, interceptors for Fear, backed up by repair corvettes. Very, very interesting. And it looks like we're going to have the first little bit of action. I thought Fear was going to go in for some resource harassment on Ghostrider, but it doesn't look to be the case. Surely Ghostrider can see this. What have we got over here? Oh, lordy. RoBeY with the hyper torp. Interesting. So RoBeY went directly for torpedo frigates, hyperspacing them behind enemy lines for some cheeky and quite frankly some frustrating resource harassment onto Ghostrider's main. What is the answer going to be? Right on the back of this, we do have interceptors from Fear coming in to back this up. However, some assault craft from Ghostrider go in and catch that repair corvette out of position, taking pretty heavy damage. It is going to go down here. Nice play by Ghostrider. Fear decides that he can't really do anything about that, so he's going to come in and try and support RoBeY's torpedo frigate, which is going to come under assault from assault craft from Tyguy. Tons and tons of assault craft. Look at all that stuff. He must be double pumping those from his carrier and flagship, presumably, because that is a ridiculous amount. We've also got attack bombers. I saw bombers. Thought I saw bombers. Yeah, there we go. Bombers and light corvettes from Xenofix. Backing up mass assault craft from Tyguy. Gonna see Fear off. However, we do have interceptors from SzaRRy converging on Ghostrider's position at that forward resource location. Backed up by some lance fighters. Ghostrider's forces backed up by lance fighters, so it looks like Ghostrider's sitting on assault craft and lance fighters. Another torpedo frigate from RoBeY going on to Ghostrider's forward expansion site. Wow, a ton of action already. Support frigates from Fear. What is that thing? Or support frigates, very, very interesting. So the repair corvettes into support frigates right on the front line there, repairing up those torpedo frigates from RoBeY. Double torpedo frigates on the expansion. His first one was cleaned up. Look at all of these strike craft. Holy Christ. Mass assault craft from Tyguy. Some assault craft and lance fighters from Ghostrider. And a huge amount of light corvettes backed up by repair corvettes and attack bombers coming in to support from Xenofix. Big engagement now, trying to dislodge Ghostrider's forward position, but that is not happening currently. Yellow with huge numbers of strike craft going to hold the line, but these torpedo frigates are being a massive headache, backed up as they are by these two support frigates. That's a nice little play by Fear and RoBeY there. How many salvagers or resource collectors got cleaned up? It looks like all of them are going to get cleaned up at this forward position. An assault frigate now from Fear coming in to support. So this position has been cleaned up of all of its resourcing. However, Yellow has taken the fight in mid, and they're pushing forward onto Red's side of the map. Keep tabs on what's going on here. Big strike fighter battles in the center as both teams start to tech up to mid-game units, presumably any moment now. Still difficult to say which way this battle could swing. There's a ton of strike craft for both sides, RoBeY and Fear with mass interceptors. Lots of light corvettes though cutting through mid from Xenofix. Nice play, gonna turn the tide of battle with all of these strike craft on the field. They just have to be careful to avoid any assault frigates and torpedo frigates. Thankfully for Xenofix, those are over here. A big headache for Ghostrider. It looks like all of his collectors have been cleaned up, just the one remaining. His carrier has taken quite a bit of damage actually. Those support frigates being absolutely clutch. Very nice play from Fear here, supporting RoBeY's opening moves. But it looks like Yellow has taken the fight in mid with that mass number of strike craft backed up as they were by these repair corvettes and light corvettes pretty decisively actually. We do have a wing coming around from the rear, interceptors from SzaRRy supporting. Going on in the back lines, I gotta make sure. Tyguy coming through through mid with his carrier, pumping out some heavy missile frigates. Gonna try and turn the tide against these assault frigates. Oh, we got a field frigate even up for Fear. That is Fear, I believe. What's going on there? I wonder what the purpose of this frigate is. To protect what exactly? Oof! I see a destroyer on the field all the way across the map, so Yellow taking the fight pretty decisively through mid, thinning those numbers of strike craft pretty heavily, and holding that down. However, Ghostrider is in dire situation over on this forward resource location. His carrier is going to go down for sure. that Titan flagship coming out front from Fear. He must have a second carrier on the field or some resource controllers back home. We do have a destroyer from SzaRRy, so it looks like he went directly for destroyers, that Hagaran fast destroyer build. And what is the answer to this going to be? Well, it looks like Tyguy has already started pumping heavy missile frigates, and they're pouring fire onto these torpedo frigates from RoBeY. Going to clean those up in short order. We have a little bit of harassment coming along the flank with some bombers from Xenofix. What is he going for with those bombers? What's he doing with these? Going to try and go down low and perhaps get on top of some of these frigates. Those light corvettes, massive light corvettes, cutting directly through mid, going straight for the resource operation of RoBeY. Going to start. Oh, this is Fear actually. Right in through Fear's back line, going to start trying to clean up a bunch of these resource collectors with these light corvettes and interceptors. SzaRRy diverting his interceptors to try and deal with that as that destroyer goes deep behind enemy lines. Is he going to make it though? There are a bunch of heavy missile frigates already on the field from Tyguy. He's got a ton of those. 5 of them that I can see. A couple of interceptors, a little bit of harassment from SzaRRy. Let's take stock of what we've got for units. A couple torpedo frigates again from RoBeY trying to make a push onto Ghostrider's resources once again. He has been pushed off of that middle location by Fear. However, it looks like he does have a mobile refinery. We do have some lag here from Fear. As the game resumes, it looks like Ghostrider does have a mobile refinery and some resource collectors, so he's still on 2 bases. That's pretty nice. Tyguy's carrier is being pushed back. He's got double carriers forward with heavy missile frigates, those double torpedo frigates and support frigate from RoBeY and Fear going to try and continue the economic harass on Ghostrider. It's one destroyer taking quite a bit of damage from these heavy missile frigates, going to probably try and retreat a little bit. Looks like Red has stabilized and they've pushed Yellow all the way back out of their territory. That was a nice cut through mid by Yellow there. But all of these strike craft and light corvettes have been pushed back by just the sheer weight of numbers. SzaRRy here with his double carrier and mothership right on the front lines, pumping out those destroyers. We've got some pulsar gunships now on the field from SzaRRy, as well as those interceptors and destroyers. More pulsar gunships spewing out onto the map. Looks like he might want to try and counter these heavy missile frigates with these pulsar gunships. Let's take a peek. Is that where they are headed? That's the question. Tyguy splitting his heavy missile frigates to deal with those torpedo frigates and support frigate, going for Ghostrider's main and trying to split off some of his forces to deal with these couple of destroyers from SzaRRy. Looks like the map has been cut in half once again. Things have stabilized. This is a crazy blob of strike craft from Tyguy. Good grief, man. That is just a ton. That's even scary for corvettes, because there's just so many there. What is Red Team going to do about it? They're going to send in some interceptors to try and deal with that. A missile destroyer. Oh god. Remember Fear's missile destroyer from that last 2v2? That was absolutely insane. So if that's anything to go by, this is going to be a massive boon for Red Team, clearing out some of these overwhelming numbers of strike craft. What's going on over here still? Oh, Fear's adding some support frigate, or some assault frigates onto this flanking maneuver. You have destroyers on the field for Ghostrider, so that is going to go head to head with these frigates as they try and outflank Ghostrider's position. Red Team pushing back now with pretty significant force. Actually, they have a number of destroyers and missile destroyers on the field, backed up as they are by torpedo frigates and assault frigates. Strike craft numbers have evened out and even balanced in Red's favor just a touch by this point. More support frigates from Fear. Those front lines getting stabilized now. We have 3 destroyers now. One's RoBeY's and 2 are from SzaRRy. It's one destroyer holding its own pretty damn well. However, these are assault frigates. It looks like the torpedo frigates have been cleaned up. Was there one back here harassing? 2. Oh boy, look at that. 2 torpedo frigates way back there. Looks like Tyguy's in position with those heavy missile frigates to try and counter them though. some harass coming in from interceptors from Fear onto Tyguy's resourcing, however. Is this second destroyer from Ghostrider? So Ghostrider looks like he'll be able to hold this for sure. However, the mid is in big trouble. There are tons, so many destroyers now. What have we got here? Support frigates from Xenofix on the front lines, trying to keep those missile frigates in battle for as long as possible. It's like Xenofix transitioning into the ion cannon frigates. But Red's push is pretty damn strong. They have solidified their hold on mid. Look at this. So many torpedo frigates, so many destroyers, backed up by a bunch of pulsar gunships and interceptors. Support frigates as well to keep these units healthy and in the field. Yellow is not out of it yet, though. They have so many assault craft from Tyguy. It's only a matter of time before he cleans up all of these interceptors from Red. Take a look at the map. Just that lone torpedo frigate back there doing some harassment. Those interceptors back there cleaning up Ghostrider's lone resource positioning back there. It looks like Ghostrider has taken the brunt of all of that economic harassment. Tyguy taking some pretty heavy fire on his own resource collectors now, but this mass of assault craft has just allowed Yellow Team to maintain dominance for the strike craft fights. That gives them mobility, that gives them scouting, and it gives them the ability to harass econ and push back any harassment from strike craft that Red Team may send against them. Really nicely done. Looks like we are gearing up for a big pitched battle here through mid. Oh, that is just so much damage coming out from these 4 destroyers and a missile destroyer backed up by a ton of torpedo frigates. Really good firepower there. There's actually a lot of strike craft from Red coming in too. Big swarms duking it out right over top of all of these capital ships and frigates, forming up big firing lines here. This is a ton of heavy missile frigates from Tyguy. This map also has one of my absolute favorite tracks from the Homeworld 2 OST on it, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Beautiful looking map, great music, great sound, awesome battle. Look at all those heavy missile frigates, good grief. How many destroyers does Yellow have? 3 destroyers still. Ion cannons coming onto the field, bringing their firepower to bear from Tyguy. Ooh, nice pop on the... Presumably that was a torpedo frigate. Ion cannon frigate falls shortly thereafter. What a spectacle this battle is. The swarms of strike craft. Oh my god, look at how many destroyers are on the field. What the hell? 5, 6, 7 destroyers. No big deal. Just 7 destroyers from Red Team. What is this? A couple destroyers. 3 though from Ghostrider, so that is pretty damn nice. Looks like the swarm of strike fighters from Red has been able to push Yellow back just a little bit. Yellow does have some light corvettes backing that up, but look at all of these pulsar gunships. Good grief, we got to get some combat footage of this. They're going to get right on top of all of these frigates, and that is bad news for these frigates. There are some support frigates on the front lines trying to keep those units in the battle. So many pulsar gunships is deadly. Even for a large number of frigates, it looks like Red is pushing so hard. Can they be stopped? Look at all of these ion cannon frigates from Fear now, backing up these massive numbers of destroyers. Can Red Team be stopped? Oof. Lots of ion cannon firepower now pouring into Ghostrider's flagship. Going to switch targets to that destroyer for a little bit. Another destroyer pops. Can Ghostrider hold the line? He does have a ton of frigates, but look at all these ion cannons. The numbers are thinning out, but more and more streaming out across the map. Forward carriers reinforcing these pulsar gunships from SzaRRy, as well as giving a position to dock for all of these strike craft. Good grief, look at the chaos in mid here. This is absolutely crazy. Yellow Team is in a bit of trouble, I feel like. There's some harassment going on the right side from Fear. He's... Really? Really? So Fear's got a couple salvage corvettes stealing resource collectors off of Xenofix. That is hilarious. Oh god, I think yellow team is in a ton of trouble. Look at all of these units, heavy corvettes now even from Fear. So Fear on the heavy corvettes and ion cannons, mass destroyers from SzaRRy and RoBeY, and huge numbers of interceptors and pulsar gunships just rampaging through the center. Can any of this be stopped? I think the clock is ticking for yellow team. They had a very strong early game. Nice micro from Tyguy though on these heavy missile frigates, pushing back and back, trying to kite as much damage from these destroyers as possible. However, it looks like most of Ghostrider's destroyers have been cleaned up. He's got a single destroyer on the field. No swarm left, he says. All of his assault craft have been cleaned up. He is trying to double pump them onto the field. Tyguy does have a shipyard on the field. Boom! Big explosion in mid. Look at the destroyers though. This is actually crazy. So many destroyers. And Ghostrider cloaks his flagship. Nicely done. But the combined firepower of all of these destroyers and ion cannons is just too much. The yellow team, they're being overwhelmed, and enormous amounts of heavy frigates and heavy corvettes and pulsar gunships just spearheading the charge through mid, cutting down frigates left and right. Now Tyguy's carriers coming under fire. Oof. Ridiculous push from red. Tyguy's flagship still stands. His shipyard still stands, but for how long? Not too much longer, I think, as we do have Ghostrider's flagship is about to explode. Just as a battlecruiser for Tyguy hits the field. Well, this is going to be extremely cool to see. There is nothing that can stop the push of red, though. Red does even have their own battlecruiser from RoBeY on the other side of the map. Look at the destroyers. That's absolute madness. So Ghostrider has been kicked out of the game, destroyed. So has Xenofix, for all intents and purposes. He just has his carrier. How long can Tyguy hold the line against this ridiculous combination of fleets from red team? Absolute insanity. Not very long, that's for sure. Let's try and get a beat on this battlecruiser. Massive numbers of ion cannon frigates backing up these destroyers, forming a protective circle around this battlecruiser as enormous firepower is brought to bear. I think the time has come for Tyguy to be pushed out of this game. There goes Tyguy's flagship, that lone battlecruiser desperately fighting against insurmountable odds. So congratulations for the victory to Team Red. Well played to all players in the game. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I hope you guys did as well. If you enjoyed it as much as I did, smash that like, leave me a comment and let me know what you think. If you enjoy my content, subscribe to my channel, and if you want to get involved in these games, hit me up on my Discord server. I'll leave the link in the video description, or the Homeworld Universe official Homeworld Discord server. I will leave the link in the video description as well. I'll see you guys online, and see you for the next game.